insane. Wow. In color grading, you can control colors using touch bar. Only touch bar. Let me show you. Green color. You see? You see? You see? 1 year ago, I bought this MacBook Pro M1, and honestly, I was nervous. Not because it was expensive, but because it was refurbished. At the time, I kept asking myself, did I make the right decision? Could the refurbished M1 MacBook Pro really handle my professional workflow? Could it edit 4K footage? Could it handle DaVinci Resolve? And more importantly, could it survive a full year of real filmmaking work? Well, after 1 year of editing YouTube videos, client project, color grading footage, photography work, and using it almost every day, I finally have the answer. So guys, we are going to test this machine. How long can it take to export this project, this 4K project? 8, 7, come on. Let me show you. It's too quick. It's too quick. The speed is insane. Before I tell you how it performs today, let me take you back to when I bought it. This is M1 MacBook Pro, 13-inch, 16GB of unified memory, 500GB SSD. And unlike many reviews we see online, I didn't buy it brand new. I bought it refurbished. At the time, I was worried. I had never owned a refurbished Mac before. I wasn't sure about the battery. I wasn't sure about long-term reliability. And I definitely wasn't sure if it could handle my editing workflow. But because it was much more affordable than brand new model, I decided to take the risk. This isn't casual use review. I am not using this machine for emails or web browsing. I am a filmmaker. I use DaVinci Resolve. Most of the videos on this channel were edited on this computer. I've used it for 4K video editing, color grading, YouTube content, client project, photography, social media videos. So when I talk about performance, I am talking about real-world performance, not benchmarks. When I bought this machine, my biggest concern wasn't editing, it was color grading. If you are a DaVinci Resolve user, you know that color grading can be demanding, especially when you are working with 4K footage. Honestly, I couldn't imagine how this MacBook Pro would handle it smoothly. But after using it for a year, I can confidently say that I was wrong. For color correction, LUTs, multiple notes, and the most grading tasks, the M1 performs surprisingly well. In fact, much better than I expected. Let's start with importing footage. One thing that surprised me is how this machine importing media into DaVinci Resolve. Even with large projects, importing footage usually takes only a few seconds. Let's see how long this machine can take to import footage. Let's see. Let me create another new bin here. So let's call it paste. New bin is done here. So I am going to import footage here. Yeah, we are going to drop it. Guys, you can see. Done. Footage is done. So let's finish to import. The heaviest of footage is this machine can handle it in a few seconds. You can't imagine it. If it comes to full HD footage, the experience is excellent. Playback is very smooth, even when using effects and color grading. I rarely experience any lag. This is a full HD project, so you can see the playback is very well. This is with color grading. No issue at all. And exporting full HD project is also very fast. This project has 11 almost 12 minutes longer. So Let's see how long this machine can take to export this project. 12 minutes. This is full HD project. Let's export it. I'll come here. Let me call it export for full HD test. Let's export it. You see guys, this machine is showing me that this project is going to take 10 minutes. 10 minutes? No. 8, 7. Come on. Let me show you. It's too quick. The speed is insane. But what about 4K footage? Honestly, this machine handles 4K editing better than I expected. For normal editing, playback remains smooth, and I don't notice any major frame drops. Even after applying basic color grading and corrections, the timeline still performs very well. For most creators, this level of performance is more than enough. Now, let's talk about the areas where this machine struggles. The biggest one is noise reduction. If you've ever used the noise reduction inside DaVinci Resolve, you already know how demanding it can be. Whenever I apply noise reduction to my 4K footage, playback becomes much slower. The timeline starts struggling, frames begin dropping, and the editing becomes less enjoyable. Yes guys, this is a 4K project. This project now, color grading is done. We are going to see if this machine can handle playback. Yes, let's test it. The scary part is that most people don't even realize it's happening. I know, because I was one of them. You see, it drops frames too much. Consuming without purpose. At first, I thought this was going to be a major problem, but eventually, I found the workflow that solved it. Instead of applying noise reduction at the beginning, I do all my editing first, then I color grading. And only after everything is finished, I apply noise reduction as one of the final steps. And honestly, it has worked very well for me. So we are going to test it without color grading. Let's test it. Can you imagine spending 5 hours every day watching videos? Just 10 videos, 30 minutes each. That's 300 minutes. You see guys, there is no frames dropping here. There is one more limitation worth mentioning. Exporting 4K video can take some time to export, depending on the effects and the color grading used in the timeline. It's not a deal breaker for me, but it's something you should keep in mind if you are working with tight deadlines or exporting large projects regularly. This project is 4K, remember. So this project has 4 minutes and a half longer. So we are going to see how long this machine can export this project. Yeah, we are going to test it. Let's test it. Let's check it. I'm going to check everything if it's good. So let me treat this first. And so guys, we are going to test if how long this project can take. Okay. All right. You see? You see? It is showing me that can take. Let me try to zoom it. This project is showing me is going to take 38 minutes of exporting. Yeah, this is not bad. It's not bad. Remember, it's 4 minutes longer. It's 4 minutes longer. So after 1 year, there are several things I absolutely love. First, the performance. For a laptop released years ago, it's still incredibly capable. Second, the battery life. Even after a year of use, the battery health is still around 90%. For everyday tasks like watching YouTube videos, browsing the web, replying to emails, or working on documents, this machine can easily last an entire day. Video editing is a different story. Editing and exporting videos require much more power, so battery life drops significantly during heavy workloads. In my experience, I usually get around 4 to 5 hours when I edit videos in DaVinci Resolve, which is still very respectable. Third, the reliability. This refurbished machine has been extremely dependable. No major issues, no unexpected failures, no expensive repairs. And that's probably the biggest surprise. The thing I worried about most ended up being the least important problem. Now, here is where things get interesting. When I bought this MacBook Pro M1, one of the biggest reasons was affordability. As creators, we all want powerful equipment, but not everyone has the budget for latest MacBook Pro. Today, the M1 MacBook Pro is much cheaper than when it was first released. Look at these prices. For what you are getting, 16GB unified memory, excellent battery life, strong editing performance, and Apple's M1 chip. I honestly think it's one of the best value laptops for creators, especially when you are just starting your filmmaking journey. And that's what makes this machine so interesting in 2026. You are getting a laptop that can still handle serious creative work without spending thousands of dollars. So, who do I think should buy this MacBook Pro M1 today? I would recommend it for beginner filmmakers, YouTubers, content creators, freelancer video editors, student learning editing, photographers. If your work mainly involves editing 4K videos, color grading, photography, and content creation, this machine is still very capable. However, if your project rely heavily on advanced visual effects, intensive noise reduction, complex vision compositions, or professional level workflow, I would recommend looking at a newer MacBook Pro with any M series Pro chip. If your budget allows, the M1 M4 would be excellent upgrade and will give you much more headroom for demanding creative work. Looking back, buying this refurbished M1 MacBook Pro was one of the best technology decisions I've made. It helped me create videos, work with clients, learn new skills, and continue growing as a filmmaker. 1 year later, I don't regret buying it. In fact, if someone asked me whether refurbished M1 MacBook Pro is still worth considering in 2026, my answer would be yes, especially if you are looking for any affordable machine that can still get serious creative work done. One final piece of advice: if you are planning to buy M1 MacBook Pro today, I would strongly recommend getting the 16GB RAM version if possible. The base 8GB model is still reusable, but 16GB gives you much more flexibility for video editing and multitasking. I would also recommend at least 500GB of storage. Video files fill up storage very quickly, especially when you are working with 4K footage. Spending little more on RAM and storage today can save you a lot of frustration later. Thank you for watching, and if you are currently using M1 MacBook Pro, let me know your experience in the comments. I would love to hear your story. Thank you.
You can't control everything, guys. You can control everything, guys, using touch bar. You can control everything using only this touch bar. You can control brightness. You can control volume. You see, volume. Wow, in color grading you can control colors using touch bar, only touch bar. Let me show you. Look here, I'm going to raise up green color. You see, okay, look here. Okay, let me raise up blue color. You see, look here. You see?